Now, there are a lot of cars in the current scheme of things that allure the young buyer quite a lot. But there are a very few of these products which have sustained a long period of time and have still been popular, even with certain upgrades done against the will of how the car community functions. There are emission laws, there are legislations which are slowly killing the enthusiast cutlets, but there are a few cars which are sustaining the brilliance of their nature. Hello everyone, my name is Ishan and welcome to the Race Monkey. I've got this, the Mini Cooper S in its 2024 avatar, which is now a little more expensive and slightly larger in dimensions. This one in its favored pack costs about 55.9 lakh rupees ex showroom. Has a lot of bells and whistles on board to justify that price tag, and it's pretty powerful as well. Now, I'm not here to talk about the numbers and the brochure game that usually goes on the internet. I'm really here to tell you about what the experience is like driving this car on a daily basis. We don't have a racetrack. I'm in the middle of a farmland with a road ending to almost nowhere. And I've got this brilliant car with me that I've been driving for the last many days. Now, besides being exceptionally good to drive, Mini's engineers have really made this car extremely efficient. Now, it's mostly all thanks to this wonderful engine called the B48, which is a 2-liter twin-scroll turbocharged petrol motor with 4 cylinders that does duty on the 330Li and the recently launched X330i as well. Produces about 201 bhp and 300 newton meters of torque, and it's mated transversely with a 7-speed dual clutch automatic gearbox, which is pretty slick, as you would experience while I'm driving this car on the road. But with this 1350 kilogram curb weight, it does more than what meets the eye, and that is fuel economy. This is the most fuel economical hot hatch money can buy. And I'm serious about it, I'm not joking. This is the most fuel economical hot hatch money can buy. You know how fuel economical? Let's get to the main part. But before that, let's kill the elephant in the room about this particular model year of the Mini Cooper S. For that, let's go to the back of the car. Now, the layman in you would say, hey Sean, what would be the elephant in the room? It just looks as quirky, as bulbous and as roundish as it was before. Perhaps these Spider-Man eye-like tail lamps with those markers does look a little nice and sharp, but what's wrong? That's wrong. The previous generation of the Mini Cooper S got the exposed twin exhaust tailpipes in the center. I took it to a car meet and a lot of people said that it's an electric Mini. That's exactly what I did not want to hear. Let's get behind the wheel and talk to you more about how it drives, shall we? Now, out on the highway, the Mini Cooper S is a little better in terms of how it handles and how it goes through certain bumps and undulations on most highways that we have. We don't have absolutely flat highways like how we would have in Europe. I'm on an expressway and the ride quality is pretty stiff. Not firm, but stiff. It has its own advantage in terms of the rebound, which is pretty well contained over the previous generation Mini Cooper. The JCW in the previous generation had a better suspension setup. Perhaps a lot of people say that Mini has not done much in terms of suspension tuning in the JCW, but I differ from it. I guess it was a much better suspension setup than the Cooper S that we got in the previous generation. But if you compare Cooper S to Cooper S, I think this one does a better job. Now, I'm cruising on the highway at about 80 kilometers per hour, and you can feel that there is quite a lot of movement already because even in comfort mode, does not have adaptive suspension. It does feel slightly cumbersome. And if you've had lunch just recently and you have to do a highway trip, make sure that you have your lunch a little on the lighter side. Perhaps Mini Cooper helps you stay fit and keep a check on what you're eating outside. Another thing is the visibility and the amount of natural lights that creeping into the cabin. Now we also have this sunroof at the back, so overall the natural light situation inside the cabin is pretty good. The air conditioning works perfectly fine, and the way it behaves on the road is really truly staggering for the price that you pay for it. The best part about the Mini Cooper is, in general, that I have devised while living with it over the last few days, and I've had Mini Coopers of the previous generation as well in the garage. And I'm really, really elated by giving the statement again, even though Mini has increased the price of the Cooper S quite substantially. And this one, with the favored pack, which has all the bells and whistles, comes it at a very neat 60 lakh rupees on road in certain states, about 55 lakh rupees ex showroom for this particular one, especially in Delhi NCR. So, with that kind of price, the power that you get, the performance orientation that you get, the fuel economy that you get with this car is absolutely fantastic. This car gives you more smiles per lakh rupees that you spend on any car, hands down. Yes, it is quite impractical to carry families around. The space on the back is a little subdued if you're over 6 feet tall. If you're about 5 feet 8 inches tall, you can carry adults in the back seat for shorter distances, but that's about it. But if you are carrying adults after being about 6 feet in height, better chop their feet off or their legs off till the knee level. But otherwise, this car is such a beautiful piece of engineering that I just cannot be happier living with it every single day. Everywhere I've taken it, people have appreciated it, people have turned around, looked at it, and it just makes so much sense. Doesn't have the paddle shifters to make sure that you are in control of the gearbox while you're overtaking or making a sprint on an expressway. But if you switch to L mode, the computers are smart enough to help you do that quite efficiently and dynamically. This is the peak of British engineering that's accessible to the public in the cleanest, the most high quality form, and which also makes you a really joyful person. If you're chasing happiness, this is quite quite above it. This is a car that can compete some sports cars in the way it drives around small autocross tracks. It might not be as fast on the track like the Berlin International Circuit that we have here in NCR, but the amount of fun that this car provides while you're seated over here in the captain's seat is just unfathomable. And Mini has made sure that it stays there, even though they have cut down a little on the equipment list on this particular one.
Now, as much as you can be against the design elements of this Mini, and you might say that this Mini isn't Mini anymore because of its proportions, the quintessential character of this car remains the same. It looks pretty damn amazing when it's on the road, but how is it on the inside while you're living with one and driving for long hours?
Here in the front cabin of the Mini Cooper S, things are quintessentially mini. The round shaped, curved shaped theme follows on in this generation as well. You have your start stop button over here with a twist key type button. You have your gear selector over here, surprisingly, instead of here. And what you get here is this massive blank space where you can keep your knickknacks, perhaps your wallet or your mobile phones. You've got a sizable glove box as well, which can accommodate quite a lot of stuff. There are dedicated two AC vents over here on the passenger side. You get your AC vents over here, which are also vertical, surprisingly, in just one of the air conditioning vents, which are over here, which really helps you not freeze your hands while you're driving long distances or for prolonged hours with the temperature at the lowest setting. Now, all the data and everything that you want to know about the car and how it's functioning is controlled through this multimedia interface or the Mini Connect in the center. It's this massive touchscreen which also houses your speedometer and your tachometer. Pretty strange, because the tachometer from right in front of you, if you're a Mini owner previously, has been depleted. Would work for a lot of people. Perhaps if you're an ex-Mini owner, you would find it a little shortchanged. But all that data has gone up on this heads-up display, which has quite a lot of things going on over there. But if I am driving this Mini like a Mini should be driven, I prefer keeping this heads-up display turned all the way off. You have your rotary volume controls. You now get your drive mode switch in the name of experiences. So you have your core mode, your go-kart mode, your green mode, which is my favorite mode because the car becomes extremely fuel efficient, and other modes as well. You get wireless Apple CarPlay and Android Auto as standard on the Mini Cooper S. Two large cup holders which can accommodate 1.5 liter bottles with absolute ease. You get cup holders on the door card as well. You get this massive twin sunroof for the front and the rear passengers with a manually operated sunshade, an interior camera to take selfies and to monitor driver as well. The quirks, which I am not really a big fan of, this is a sunshade, has a mirror to make me look really nice. But if I pull it over here, I'm still getting quite a substantial amount of sunlight on my face. And I'm not a 6 footer, I'm just 5 feet 8 inches tall. Even if I am a short woman who would drive like this, I'm still getting sun on my face. Not the best thing. They should have had an extendable sunshade over here, which would have helped massively to eradicate the sun while you're driving through the harsh summer sun of the North Indian cities. Now, we've got an armrest over here, which is not slidable, does not have storage on the inside as well, which is quite a shame. But what is not a shame are these seats, which are very, very comfortable. They have got good amount of under thigh support. They are manually adjustable for reach and height. You have this wonderful text or sport text, what Germans call it, on the door cards, on the dashboard, and this raked windscreen, which really gives you a good view of the bonnet up front. A very well thought out cabin, which does the job rather well, but feels slightly shortchanged in terms of the plastic quality, which is a little too brittle. And the most prominent thing, it has got quite a lot of these bands running all across the car. You've got this belt sort of a thing on the dashboard, which is a part of the favored option pack, and you also have this strap to strap on your mobile phone while it's wirelessly charging, so it does not move around. That's all to talk about in the front cabin. Let's get to the back seat and understand if a 5 feet 8 inch tall person with the seat adjusted to their preference can fit in the back seat without much issues. That's going to be quite an experience. So getting to the back seat is not much of an exercise because the height of the Mini Cooper has increased a bit to ease off ingress and egress. And while I'm at the back seat with this driver's seat adjusted as per my driving style, I've got fair enough knee room. I'm not hitting the back of this seat. I've got good amount of foot room under the seat as well. This seat has been reclined in a more relaxed position, so that would be one of the reasons that this visual might look a little cramped, but there is good amount of room, and this seat back sort of bends in a little bit to give me more space to play around with. You've got this massive panoramic sunroof which filters in quite a lot of light to make this cabin feel a little less cumbersome. A cup holder over here, adjustable headrest, seat belts over there, and this massive window to let in more light and make you feel less clustered at the back. Would I be able to fit 2 adults at the back for longer trips? Perhaps not. But for shorter trips, this works perfectly fine. Done with the rear seat view. I should get back to the driver's seat already.
I've been using the Cooper as my daily driver, and with those thin profile tires, the ride quality is surprisingly brilliant. Pumps are easily soaked, and the large size of this Mini really makes it a very practical choice for daily drivers. It looks quite beautiful from every single angle. It's quintessential Mini. And just look at the design of those alloy wheels with bronze elements. Just looks so sporty with this blue paint shade. Absolutely fantastic. And what's surprising even more is the fuel economy. On the highway, after driving for about 120 kilometers, I got a fuel economy figure of 17.6 kilometers to the liter. And we broke the fuel economy record of 28.5 kilometers to the liter while doing our hypermiling test in the Mini Cooper S.
So what's my final verdict on the new Mini Cooper S? It still evokes the car enthusiast in me. It's just brilliant to drive, also very frugal and more practical than before. It's got more space, more power and better traction as well. The kind of torque steer that you would experience in the previous generation Mini Cooper S is sort of gone in this generation. So for the money that you pay for it, which is all thanks to the inflation and the rupee dropping against the dollar, it makes quite a lot of sense. The smiles per lakh rupees that you spend on this car are well worth it. So with that, I say goodbye to you. Thank you for watching this video. Do subscribe to our YouTube channel and follow us on Instagram for more updates. See you there, and always wear your seatbelts.